Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Victor fires Victoria for going rogue, daughter helps Billy and pays the price. The Young and the Restless, Y&R, spoilers reveal that Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinel, will have to deal with an ethical dilemma during the week of September 16 to 20. The Newmans aren't always known for having strong morals, but Victoria will indeed wrestle with a crisis of conscience. Although Victoria has some sense of family loyalty when it comes to Victor, she's also loyal to Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, on some level. Billy is Victoria's ex and the father of her kids, so it's easy to see why she'd be wary of hurting him. Victoria may not be inflicting any pain personally, but can she really stand by and watch as Victor blows up Billy's life? It seemed like Victoria was going to do just that for a while, but she'll start to rethink things soon enough. I&R spoilers say Victoria's desire to help Billy will infuriate Victor and could lead to an ultimatum. Perhaps Victor will remind Victoria of the importance of being a team player, especially when the stakes are so high. Victor is determined to preserve Catherine Chancellor's, Jean Cooper, legacy and take over Chancellor for Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, to run. However, things are getting messy since Victor has promised Lily Winters, Crystal Cowell, the top spot despite having no intention of actually giving it to her. If Victoria reveals that to Lily and ruins this alliance, that could bring a setback for Victor. Victoria could also score more updates on Victor's plans and blab to Billy at some point. We might see Victoria deliver some warnings along the way and enrage Victor by sabotaging his plans. Whatever the case, Victoria will become more protective of Billy, so Victor will have a huge problem with that. Victor will lose his temper and try to lay down the law, but what happens if Victoria continues to go against his wishes? Victoria could get fired for going rogue sooner or later, so that's an option to keep in mind. Victor doesn't approve when his children fail his loyalty tests, so there could be a steep price to pay for Victoria. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Victoria's efforts to protect Billy will lead to some tricky situations, so stick with us for predictions on the bad news that's brewing. In the ever-turbulent world of the Young and the Restless, the Newman family is facing yet another storm that threatens to tear them apart. This time the conflict stems from Victor Newman's growing frustration with his daughter Victoria, who has once again gone rogue. But what started as a family disagreement has now escalated into an all-out war, with devastating consequences for Victoria. Not only is she risking her career at Newman Enterprises, but her personal life is also in shambles as she aligns with Billy Abbott in a move that sends shockwaves through Geno City. The rogue move that shakes Newman Enterprises. Victoria's decision to make an executive move without her father's approval is nothing new in the Newman family. She's long fought to prove herself as a capable leader, independent of her father's heavy-handed influence. This time, however, her actions cross a line that even she might not have anticipated. In a high-stakes business deal involving an ambitious merger, Victoria took the reins, negotiating a risky partnership with a rival company. Her instincts told her it was the right move, a chance to propel Newman Enterprises into a new era of dominance. But she knew the merger would face opposition from her father. Victor Newman, the patriarch who built the empire, thrives on control, and in his eyes, Victoria's unauthorized actions were nothing short of betrayal. When Victor discovers what Victoria has done, he's livid. His iron grip over Newman Enterprises has always been unshakable, but now, for the first time in years, he feels that control slipping. Victoria, always the dutiful daughter on the surface, has gone too far this time, and there's no turning back. The confrontation. A father-daughter showdown. The showdown between Victor and Victoria is nothing short of explosive. In a tense confrontation at Newman Tower, Victor wastes no time tearing into his daughter for defying his orders. His fury is palpable, his words sharp as daggers as he accuses her of undermining his authority. Victoria, however, stands her ground, unwilling to back down. She knows the risks she took, but she also believes in her vision for the company. "I did what I had to do, Dad," Victoria snaps, her voice strong despite the rising tension in the room. Newman needs this merger. We can't stay stagnant forever, playing it safe. Victor's icy gaze doesn't waver. You went behind my back, Victoria. You gambled with this company's future, with your family's legacy. And for what? To prove you're smarter than me. The air in the room is thick with years of unresolved tension. Victor has always struggled to balance being both a father and a boss to his children, and Victoria has long yearned for his respect as an equal. But in this moment, the gap between them feels wider than ever. I don't need your approval to do what's best for this company, Victoria retorts, her eyes blazing with defiance. I'm not a child anymore. Victor's face hardens, his decision is made. You're right, he says coldly. You're not a child. You're a liability. With those words, Victor fires Victoria on the spot, stripping her of her position at Newman Enterprises. The shock in Victoria's eyes is fleeting, quickly replaced by anger and disbelief, but Victor doesn't give her a chance to argue. He's made his choice, and for the first time, it feels like the ties that bind them as father and daughter have been irrevocably severed. Billy Abbott, the unlikely ally. In the aftermath of her firing, Victoria turns to the one person she knows will understand her need for independence, Billy Abbott. Their relationship has always been complicated, filled with passion, conflict, and a history that refuses to fade. But despite their differences, Billy has always admired Victoria's strength and determination. Billy, too, has his own battles to fight, having recently dealt with his own personal and professional turmoil. Yet when Victoria comes to him, vulnerable and furious after her blowout with Victor, he can't help but step in. He's never been one to back away from a fight, especially when it involves taking down Victor Newman, his perpetual adversary. You don't need him, Vic, Billy tells her, his voice low but filled with conviction. You've always been the brains behind Newman. Victor's too stubborn to see that. Victoria smiles bitterly. Maybe, but now I'm out, and he's not going to let me back in. It doesn't take long for Billy to hatch a plan. Together, they'll use the skills and resources they've amassed over the years to challenge Victor. But there's a catch. By aligning with Billy, Victoria is essentially declaring war on her own family. And in Geno City, no one takes on Victor Newman without suffering the consequences. The price of loyalty. As Victoria and Billy work together to launch their own venture, whispers start to circulate in the Newman family. Victor is enraged by his daughter's new alliance, seeing it as a personal affront. He may have fired her, but deep down, he never expected her to turn to Billy of all people. Nikki, torn between her loyalty to her husband and her love for her daughter, tries to mediate, but the rift between Victor and Victoria is too wide to bridge. Meanwhile, Adam, ever the opportunist, seizes on the chaos, angling to strengthen his own position within the company. But it's Victoria who ultimately pays the highest price. In a devastating twist, one of the deals she and Billy secure is sabotaged, and they soon realize that Victor has been pulling strings behind the scenes, ensuring that their business ventures fail before they even begin. Victoria is left reeling. She knew taking on her father would be a challenge, but she underestimated the lengths to which Victor would go to crush her rebellion. Now, she faces a choice: continue to fight alongside Billy, risking everything, or find a way back into her family's fold, even if it means sacrificing her pride. The fallout. In the wake of her firing and Victor's underhanded sabotage, Victoria's world is in chaos. Her career is in shambles, her relationship with her father is in ruins, and even her partnership with Billy is beginning to fray under the pressure. But Victoria is nothing if not resilient. As the dust settles, she knows one thing for certain: she's not done fighting. Whether she rebuilds on her own terms or finds a way to outmaneuver her father, one thing is clear: Victoria Newman is far from finished, and the battle for Newman Enterprises is only just beginning.